We jumped off that financial cliff a long time ago, and when we hit the bottom, it's going to hurt bad. I'm Chris, and this is episode 21 of Patriot Party News. Today we're going to talk about the new COVID-19 Relief Bill, $1.9 trillion of fat. The House of Representatives on Wednesday passed the updated version of President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. The vote was 220 to 211, with all Democrats voting for the bill except for Rep. Jared Golden from Maine, and all Republicans voting against it. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would any Republican vote against COVID-19 relief? Well, the truth is that this bill has nothing to do with COVID-19 relief. Sure, we've got a little bit of stuff in there for the American people. Some of us are going to get $1,400 checks, and that's great. I guess some people are suffering and people need the money. But I have a really good feeling that all of that money is just going to end up buying crypto, maybe some GameStop stock. I have no idea. But the truth is at this point, we have not been spending our children's money. George Bush spent our children's money. We are now spending our great grandchildren's money. We owe so much money that there's no way on earth we will ever get to pay it back. Let's take a look at the U.S. debt clock. So you can see here, we owe a whopping $28 trillion. That's almost $85,000 per person in the United States. And if you only go with the taxpayers, that's $223,000. I don't know about you, but I don't have $223,000 to send to the federal government. But even if I did, it wouldn't even put a scratch in how much money we owe. If you look here, our defense spending is $722 billion. That sounds like an insane amount of money, right? But check this out. Our debt, our interest payments on debt is almost $400 billion. So more than half of what we spend on defense, we now have to pay in interest. I mean, and we just can completely skip the fact that we're paying $1.2 trillion for Medicare and $1.1 trillion for Social Security. What's really scary here is that the revenue coming in for everyone, we owe $84,000, but the revenue that we bring in is only $10.5 thousand. So this number is going to get so much bigger, and all of this is before this $1.9 trillion. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but at this point, I used to be a proponent of we can't have universal health care because it'll be too expensive and we don't have a way of paying for it. And no, we can't, just give away money for no reason because we can't pay for it. But at this point, we're so far in debt that there's no way we can recover anyway. I don't know, maybe you guys can get back with me and tell me on a way that you think we can survive this, but I sure as heck can't figure it out. And they have gotten used to spending this kind of money. Once you start spending $1 trillion here or $1 trillion there, there's nothing to stop you from keeping to do it. Only 9% of the COVID-19 relief bill actually went to COVID-19 relief. Some of it doesn't even get spent this year. A lot of it went to bailing out states. A lot of it went to bailing out the school unions. It makes absolutely no sense. And we are in deep trouble, guys. So the one thing that you can do here at the U.S. clocks is you can look at the world debt clocks. Let's take a look. So coming in right on the top is the USA. We've got 28 trillion. Our total gross domestic product is 21 trillion. That looks great. But here, let's look at China. China has 8 trillion in debt, but they have a $14.8 trillion GDP. That means that unlike us, they don't owe more money than they make. So The question is why haven't we already collapsed? It seems like we've been on the precipice for such a long time, but actually we jumped off the cliff a long, long time ago. We are very lucky that we haven't already had some kind of massive inflation. But if we look at our clock here, we can go back in time, or we don't even have to go back in time. We can take a look right here. The last time we had hyperinflation was in the 60s, right? Well, we were at 53.15% debt to income. Now we're at 129.8% debt to income. Most of the money in circulation right now was printed in the last 365 days. If you don't have more products, but you have a ton more money, then you're gonna get hyperinflation. Now, the price of food is already going up. There's reports of this all over the place, and they're worried that in other parts of the world, people are going to starve to death because they won't be able to afford it. But I'm worried that that's going to happen right here. Bitcoin is currently at $56,000. Earlier, by this time last year, it was at $5,000. Think about that. People are putting their money into Bitcoin, which is fantastic, but that also takes the money that we should be using to buy products and puts it into an intangible asset, which is actually going to make the problem worse. I'm not an economist, but I do know that you can't keep racking up debt. It's like if you had a credit card and you maxed it out, and then you got another credit card with a bigger limit and transferred it over, and you just kept doing it continuously. Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper. I am terrified about what this means for my kid. I'm terrified what it means for your kids and all of our children. The U.S. is on the ragged edge, and printing money is not the answer. Now, the Fed has acknowledged that there will be inflation. It's happening. Now, they're trying to say that it's going to be a temporary thing and we won't really feel the impact for long, but they don't know. Think about how much stuff we've all gotten wrong during this COVID process. The experts that we count on are not experts. They're all just people, and people make mistakes constantly. You guys, this is really scary stuff. If you put this into comparison with all the other stuff that's happening in the world, we're in a lot of trouble. I hope that you guys have been preparing and taking care of yourselves and working on your physical fitness and making sure you have stuff to protect you and your family, because it's going to get crazy. Everything that's about to happen with this George Floyd stuff, all of these trans rights policies that are coming out of the White House, a lot of insane things are happening at once, and I'm really worried about it. You know, and as far as the relief for COVID, I don't want people to feel like I'm heartless. I understand that some people need the money, and I understand that it can do a lot of good, but gosh, it can also do a whole lot of bad. And I think we're going to find out really soon what that is. So just be vigilant. Make sure you're paying attention to what's going on around you. And you know what? Track the prices of the stuff you want to buy. Take something, put it in your Amazon cart, and then just see after a couple of weeks what the price difference is. Kind of gauge the inflation on your own. For now, we can all afford milk, but I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Anyway, all right, that's the end of this episode. Thanks for watching episode 21. Do me a favor. Go to gab.com/patriotparty.news and follow me. Subscribe or follow on whatever video platform you're watching. And if you could comment and give me a thumbs up. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself, guys. But I know you're out there, and I know you're paying attention. And another announcement, this weekend, I'm driving to the border, and I'm going to be trying to get the lay of the land and find out what's going on down there. And I'm planning on bringing you a video sometime early next week or maybe even Sunday, depending on when I get back. Thanks.